really fast. Like, it was just over 2 hours. It was a really fast-paced ceremony, especially for the number of awards they gave out and the number of things that they did. And they did a whole thing for the Broncos and everything else. And it was the Broncos stuff was emotional as hell. By the way, that was emotional. Especially when you find out 2 of the players still were in the hospital when they were doing this. So that was crazy. But it was a really good show. Other presentation. Like, I was really... It was the fact that someone was depressing. Like, they opened it up doing a whole thing for Vegas and all the first responders in Vegas. That was the opening of the show. And that was cool. Like, that was a really cool thing. Like, and it was a good show. But as for the awards, it was pretty predictable to a point. I'll go from the bottom to the top. Yeah, the Jack Adams Award, I was joking around. I think we said this on the NHL Award preview show, that if Zara Garant did not win this award, they might actually riot. The funny part about this was the way they had things going, they were talking about Vegas' first year, and they were bringing out players. And what do you know? Gallant happened to be on the stage already to accept his award. Happened to be there. I thought that was funny.
That's a time saver.
It was very funny. He didn't have to get up from the crowd. He just happened to be standing there for his award. So that was nice.
Well, how about that?
Yeah. The Bill Masterson Memorial, the only reason I even mention it is because Brian Boyle won. And that's exciting.
Yeah.
That was one of the most obvious awards because I got a thing before the show started. 95% sure Brian Boyle's winning the award. I was like, okay, cool. At least I'm guaranteed at least one Devil will leave an award tonight. That's good. Second Devil, by the way, to win the Masterson, which is interesting. I thought that was cool. Sal, who's the first? As our local dog, who's the first?
Was it Colin White?
No, Ken Danico.
Oh,
Danico won in 03. I actually forgot about that. He brought it up on Twitter. Like that the night of the show, he brought it up. So I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot he won that award. So there you go. The James Norris went to Victor Hedman from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Makes sense. The Vezina went to Pecorine, Nashville Predators, which I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect him to actually win. It was nice to see him win. So, because when you go through the stats, he had the least impressive stats out of the 3 nominees, and he still won. So that was pretty funny. And then, of course, MVP, the Hart Memorial Trophy, went to Taylor Hall. Suck it, Mike. Went to Taylor Hall. But no, also I saw the voting come out after he won, and then by the way, another cool thing, if you go on, I think anywhere NHL, you go back to the NHL awards on Twitter, they were releasing the actual votes of all of the awards, like broke it down like who got this many votes, who did this, who voted, what random player got voted in this award. Like, it was really, really cool what they did. Like, Will Butcher and Nico Hischier got Rookie of the Year votes at one point.
Good one.
And then, so they got 15 or 20 each. It was actually pretty cool. Like, Taylor Hall got one. Taylor Hall got one vote for like the Frank J. Selke. Like, it was random as hell, but I was like, okay, cool. It was just random shit like that. You know, like, who were the top 5 coaches? And then, unfortunately, we didn't make the top 5 coaches, which just sucks. He should be at least number 5, but that didn't happen. But it was really cool voting stuff. I thought it was cool. But Taylor Hall won, and he even admitted it. He didn't expect it. And so he was on the Devils of Access podcast last week. Him and Marty were both on the Devils of Access podcast this past week. And he openly admitted he had a speech prepared. But because everyone before him did not bring up a speech, he didn't want to be the one guy with a speech. So when you watch his speech, he's trying to remember what he wrote down. But then he was the award after the Broncos thing. So he realized, wow, I should just keep this short, because he even said it. So after that, what I'm doing here seems very unimportant, but I have to do this. So I thought that was interesting. But a good show overall. Very cool to have the MVP of the league on the Devils. First time ever.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Fuck you. Anyway, NHL Draft. This was an interesting night. So the Devils Insider Radio, they did they started a Discord server for chit-chatting for Devils fans. I'll send you the link out if you want to join the chat. It's actually really a lot of fun. And they started a Discord server. And in there, we were doing a live chat of the draft throughout the draft. So it was fun to talk to hockey fans while watching the draft. So that was a lot of fun this year for me, personally. The fun part of the draft was people dropping down because the teams decided to pick, like, out of order completely. So it's like, we'll pick this. And then Bob McKenzie freaking out, like, I had him ranked 12th, not 3rd. Like, it was absolutely hysterical watching Bob McKenzie freaking out because his list was being destroyed on the air. that was fucking hysterical. The obvious one for Buffalo, they went with Roman. I cannot say this name. What do you think? Can you pronounce this name, Sal?
Who?
Buffalo.
No.
Want to try?
I know. I can't even.
Who? Dahlin?
Yeah, Dahlin. I can't remember his first name. I was going for the first name, but I can't remember the first name. Dahlin. And then
I only remember the first name. The last name off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, Andre Shiknikov went to Carolina. What's with these fucking names this year? What the fuck is this fucking name? I'm not even gonna bother with the Montreal. And then, but the Devils. So hysterical. So the Devils go to 17, and all these players keep dropping. He's dropping, and Sal texts me to just keep up. He's watching. Okay, so I'm watching the drafts. Sal's watching a Golden Girls marathon. True story.
As I do.
Priorities.
As you do. So I'm watching the draft, and the draft's keep going down, and I'm watching it excited because it's actually really exciting because the Devils might get a good player. You know what I mean? It's actually cool. You know, so it keeps going on. And this Sal texts me, he's like, well, how far are they? I'm like, they're on 15. And then finally, on the text, I'm like, Devils are up next. Devils are on the clock. Devils are on the clock. And he's like, okay, cool. Devils are on the clock. So we go there, jumps over, and then I try to explain to him, I'm like, okay, Ty Smith is the guy the Devils are going to pick. He was supposed to be picked like 12th. But he's still here. He's still here. It's a big deal. He'd help our defense if they pick him. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. And they pick Ty Smith. I'm like, oh, sweet. We got a good defenseman. I'm excited. We got a good defenseman to help our defensive core. We needed somebody. So, yay for that.
and then I promptly clicked back over to the Golden Girls.
Yes, and I stood on the draft to watch the weirdness of the draft. As one of the top favorites that was supposed to go to the top 10 went like 29th. It was really funny.
Oh, wow.
It was hysterical to watch. I'm not going to lie. So, all right. We had a lot of news break. So, let's hit it. Sal, let's start this off. You start with the news, and we'll go back and forth on stuff. Go for it.
Interesting. Barry Trotz resigned as the head coach of the Washington Capitals, but then signed as the head coach of the New York Islanders.
That's not the biggest fuck you to Washington I've ever seen. Mike, what do you think? Because you like saying fuck you to Washington. What are your thoughts?
I'm glad he did it. It gave me a little more respect for Barry Trotz. I'm a big fan of this move. Anything that screws Washington is a good play in my book.
You know, at least I'll give you credit. At least you're consistent. I'll give you credit for consistency.
I don't waver.
Yes. I'll give you that. You're very consistent. Coach of the Islanders, with Lou Lamoriello kind of running the show. Sal, what are you thinking here? Is this interesting?
It's interesting, yeah.
I don't know what to say here. It's a weird one. I didn't expect it. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, oh, he's now coaching the Islanders. Like, okay. Weird.
Well, at first, they had said he retired, so it's like, all right, good for him. He went out on top, and then it's like, oh yeah, BT Dubs, he's going to be on the Islanders now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, funny part was
retire on the bottom.
ESPN had a scroll because truth be told, I watch like a very little ESPN, but I don't. I work. I had ESPN on in the background at work. To get up on ESPN, that morning show that I half bad, and it was on. And on the bottom was scrolling the news, and it says Barry Trotz resigned as head coach and will be retiring from the NHL. And I'm like, okay, good for him. He went out on top. Scotty Bowman like. You know what I mean? They even referenced Scotty Bowman in the scroll. Saying like he's like Scotty Bowman, the last coach to retire as a champion. You know what I mean? It was something. It was just like that. And then 3 days later, oh, he didn't retire. He just resigned as head coach. He's going to be head coach in New York. I'm like, what the fuck? Come on. Oh man. Okay, what's the next one, Sal? Next big news to the NHL. This is actually pretty cool.
The NHL salary cap will go up $4.5 million next season to $79.5 million.
I like this. I like the fact that the cap goes up every year. That just means the leagues are successful. That's what it means to me. The league's successful, so the teams get more money. Am I right, Mike?
Oh, yeah. And I think it means I have 4.5 more million cap space now, as opposed to 0.
Yeah, so. True. You can get a player now. Look at that. So, all right. So I like doing this every year. So the 2018-2019 schedule was released. Obviously, we're not going to go through everything, but I put down the big dates, the big ones. First of all, Mike, you can avoid NHL Network on October. ABC Sports Network on October 3rd because Washington's going to be raising their banner against Boston. The 6th, the Devils are opening up their season against Edmonton in the NHL Global Series from Gothenburg, Sweden. Because
on my birthday.
Oh, wow.
On your birthday, yes. On your birthday,
Oh,
Sal.
yeah, on our birthday, that's right.
Yes, on both of your birthdays. On October 6th. But that's interesting. They're going to be in Sweden for opening. They're doing a series. They're doing a preseason game, and then they're going to do the big game. I think that's pretty cool. And they're advertising it now, Sal, as the scoring leader versus MVP.
Okay.
Which is fun. I think it's fun.
That works. That's a good way to advertise.
Yeah, it's really great advertising for the NHL. They have that now because the MVP's in New Jersey, so they can do that now. I'm just gonna keep saying that because it's fun. November 1st and 2nd, the other NHL Global Series is going to happen because there's apparently going to be 2 of them this year. Florida is playing Winnipeg in Helsinki.
Who?
It's Florida and Winnipeg in Helsinki.
Who?
Exactly. Exactly.
It'll be Florida's best home game of the season.
So, okay. NHL Winter Classic. I love the fact that the game is going to be in Notre Dame Stadium. I love that. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be great. I just am so sick and tired of Boston and Chicago being in the Winter Classic. I'm so sick and tired of it. Sal, what do you think? Sal, what do you think? Are you as sick of it as I am?
If it needs to be done again, I guess it needs to be done again.
It's just weird. I don't know why it has to be the same damn teams all the time, Mike.
Oh, I like that they're switching it up a little bit. Who's playing in the game?
Boston and Chicago. Boston and Chicago. That's why I said that. That's why I said that.
All right, so I mean, they should switch it up a bit, but I mean, like, who else can they really get to play? I mean, I remember when they attempted to do it, in like L.A. or something, like a few years ago, and the ice was like awful.
Yeah, I think that was a Stadium Series game. I think it was in San Francisco. It was in San Francisco. It was in the same building that they did WrestleMania that one year. It was. I can't think of. If we're,
okay.
I can't think of the building.
Levi Stadium.
Levi Stadium. It was in the same way WrestleMania was that one year. It was the same building. WrestleMania play button, Sal. That one. The night where Seth Rollins. Won the title. That's what that WrestleMania reminds me. That's the first thing that reminded me of that building. Is that stadium? Is that moment? So, gotta love wrestling. But so that's that. But okay, moving on. We have the NHL All-Star Game happening in San Jose this year. That's interesting. That's fun. Unfortunately, it's the exact same time as the Royal Rumble, so you can tell what we're watching. A little bit more important on our end. And, of course, the Stadium Series happening again, outdoor game. You're going to love this one, Mike. It is on February 23rd. It is Pittsburgh at Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field.
Oh, that'll be a fun one.
The Battle of Pennsylvania. Wait, we're only doing one stadium game this year?
They're doing probably because of the Global Series, because they're doing the Global Series games. So they're only doing one Stadium Series game this year.
Well, that's good. Not to overdo it.
Well, they're doing something different. It's definitely a different kind of a year with the Global Series this year. So I prefer to have a little bit difference in our schedule. If we're going to do special games, do something different. That's what we're doing this year. Mm. So, all right. I was kind of hoping when we came into this to have a whole bunch of trades and signings and big things happening. And I'm not going to lie, there hasn't been a lot of big dings. I mean, the fun part about it is if you go to capfriendly.com and you go to their transactions page, there's like 27 million signings, but all of a sudden are like minor league players. And people nobody cares about. But if you want to read about all of them, go to capfriendly.com, which is where I get my information from, and click on their transactions page and read about all the players that you probably don't care about because they're on your team. So, which is good for you. This is what the Devil's Insider Radio guys do, because that's what I listen to their show for. They can tell me all the players on the